Hello everyone, Dibz here, and welcome to the next episode of Overwatch Overseer, a series where I analyze the gameplay submitted by you, the viewers, on specific games in which you feel like you aren't able to improve on. So let's get right down to it. This is going to be a tank VOD on Dorado, and I'm assuming it's going to be a lot of Reinhardt and probably a mix of other different tanks. So we'll see how this goes. And we're going to be in Platinum as well, and we're going to be reviewing somebody named Cheese Addict, and apparently this is a loss, as you can tell from the VOD title. But yeah, anyways, let's get this going. I'm gonna be in Plat, and let's see how this goes. Kind of a lot of energy from your first fire strike. Not an entirely huge amount, but it's a decent amount. But you also got to make sure that you watch out for that Widow on the top left. Keep your shield up whenever you can.
Come on, Shiny.
Don't really have to take that Reinhardt fire strike. You can honestly just move a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right to kind of dodge it so it doesn't actually hit you. Because Reinhardt versus Reinhardt is all about the amount of charge that you get from your fire strikes, right? So if you can avoid it, don't be afraid to. Just move around a little bit. Okay, a whiffed charge. You weren't really in a good position to charge him. I feel like you were in a good position, but I feel like it's just that the timing was just a little bit off. And also right there, I think you were down, you were up one. You were up one, right? So basically when you use your fire strike here and you Roadhog ended up getting a pick on the Genji, right? So right here, you should be pushing up a little bit farther. Like you can just keep pushing up, kind of push them back a little bit farther and farther because they're down one, right? If it's a 6v5, you don't have to be backing up here. You do not have to back up there, especially since your Mei threw down a wall. That's also another, sign for you to keep pushing up. You're up one, your Mei put her wall down. Be aggressive, try to get maybe like a charge or just swing into them because the Mei wall is blocking the healing from the enemy team and also the line of sight from this left side. So whenever you're up one, try to make a little bit more aggressive plays if you can. It'll help you guys a lot. So also right here, you have your shield clipping into the wall here. There's no reason for you to have your shield blocking in this direction. The only reason why you would want to do that is if your entire team was behind you here and you want to make your shield as small as you can, because then the smaller it is, the less damage that can be done to it, right? But right here, you got your Moira, you got basically half your entire team on this side of the map. So you want to make sure that your shield is kind of a little bit towards the right, especially because they can shoot towards this side and basically shoot your team and your shield isn't going to be blocking for them. So try to make sure that you position your shield correctly, that you're blocking for a lot of the damage. And positioning is really, really important. Right, the Widow's down, which is good. You're down a support as well. Feels bad. So right there is also another mistake that I feel like you should have shielded up a little bit. There's a lot of things that are happening at once. But since their Rein charged in, right? Their Rein charged in, right? You are 250 health. If their Rein charges in, their healer is an Ana. The Ana has to shoot backwards or shoot past your shield in order to hit their Rein to heal them up. So what you should be doing at this point is when the Rein charges in, you can either try to do a counter charge, but your counter charge is gone already. Your charge is down. Or you can shield forward. If you shield forward, what happens is that it blocks any of the damage coming to the rest of your team. And also it blocks the healing going towards this Rein. This Rein is really low, and you're kind of low as well. But if you put your shield forward, the Ana will not be able to heal the Rein charging in, and he will die a lot faster. And not only that, you also block damage for your team at the same time. Right? You would have been able to block damage from the Zarya. You also would have been able to block the damage or the healing done onto the enemy Rein. So just whenever the Rein charges in to you and doesn't get a pin and is a little bit farther for you to deal with, just keep your shield forward, especially if you're low. Block the damage and block the healing onto the enemy Rein that's charging in.
Oh wait, never mind. Yeah.
All right, so this is the second point. I feel like you did get your ult. You have your ult. I feel like Monkey is really strong here, but you have your Shatter. Right? You have your Shatter, so it's completely okay.
Yeah.
But Monkey is very popular here because of the fact that you can jump down or drop down and then you can jump back up. Nice block. Nice Shatter. That's actually pretty big. That's huge. Nice. Huge Shatter. Ooh. Shield up, shield up. Nice, nice. Good job, good job. Good swing. Nice, good recovery. Good job, guys. So one thing that I was talking about was that Monkey is really good here because it allows you to hold the high ground, and then you can just drop down, do whatever it is you need to do, and then you can use your abilities to jump back up to the high ground and into safety. That's why Monkey is very, very popular on this second point. But it looks like you guys are sticking around to Ryan, which is okay. A little bit more hard to play, I feel. A little bit more difficult. Ooh, a little bit of a risky charge right here. I know what you were trying to do. You were trying to basically predict that he was going to keep moving forward, but you got to think about the fact that if you charge, right, you not only put yourself in a very dangerous situation, you are also not blocking any damage for your team. One thing you should do is you should ask for a bubble whenever you charge for your Zarya. Whenever you charge, ask for a bubble for Zarya. Just be like, Zarya, do you have bubble? Or Zarya, bubble me. And then once she bubbles you, then you charge in. If you put yourself in a dangerous situation like this, and if you don't get bubbled, you're kind of screwed. You can get slept, you can get charged, and you just die. So, do you even have a Zarya? You don't even have a Zarya. Well then, if you don't have a Zarya, you do not want to be charging it like that. End of story. Yeah, if you don't have a Zarya, you really don't want to be charging it like that, because the reason why you can do charges like that, you saw the enemy Ryan charge in with bubble, right? Because that's just how Zarya and Ryan works. If you do not have a Zarya on your team, you can't do charges like that unless you're up and your team is pushing in with you. But it's very, very risky for you to do those kind of charges for that one. Nice, nice. And you're charging again. You're doing a lot of charging. A lot of charging. I feel like charging is probably going to be your biggest weakness here. Especially without a Zarya. Try to make sure you don't charge as much. It's not really useful at all. It leaves your team open, it leaves you open, and you don't have anything to kind of save you. You know what I mean? While their enemy Ryan or their enemy team has a Ryan Zarya, and it makes them a lot easier for them to deal with. Being aggressive like that. So right here, you don't have to jump. I've noticed every time you've charged, you like to jump. Right? Jump. Jump. And jump charge. So what happens when you jump and charge is that you jump and then you actually charge after a certain amount of time. There's like a delay before you actually start moving, right? So if you jump and then you charge, you're going to start charging from the location in which is the later, you're going to jump from a later location than exactly where you jumped from, right? So you don't want to jump. Whenever you just want to charge and you want to get out of something, just turn around and just charge. Don't jump. There's no point. You're kind of screwing yourself over. You're screwing yourself over by jumping too much. You're jumping a lot, and it's just making you put yourself in your bad situation when you don't need to. And this guy's ulting for no reason. He doesn't have to be ulting. He got a Mei, but he's still going to be the only one left. So yeah. Don't jump when you charge. Try not to. Unless you are trying to predict an enemy and their movement. So another reason is that you also don't want to be pushing up a little bit too far here either, because I feel like you're really, really close to the enemy team, and also you're changing your shield. So think about what you want to be blocking here. As Ryan, there's a Widow right there, right? Widow is a very dangerous target to your team. Without your shield, she's going to be able to get free headshots on your team. So if you are pushing up, sure, go ahead and push up. But just keep in mind, right? When your shield is this way, who are you blocking for? You are not blocking for anybody. You can't block the Ryan's melee. You can't block his hammer. You can block his shatter, yes. But you can't block his swing. Right? But think about it. If there is a Widow shooting this way, right? From the top right towards your team this way, this shield is not going to block anything. Shield's not going to block anything this way. Shield's not blocking anything still. And it's just like, you're leaving your team open to the sniper shots every time you turn your shield left and right. Even if you have your shield up, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be blocking at the right angle. So try not to, don't really do this very much. Try not to do this because you're not blocking any damage for your team. You're making your team open and the enemy team is just running straight into your team. And it's kind of like, you're not really blocking any damage. You're not really blocking anything. Try not to wave your shield around. Don't wave your shield too much. Don't wave your shield around too much. This is especially if they have hit scan and a Widow. If they didn't have a hit scan or a Widow shooting from far range, then maybe it'd be okay for you to just, kind of like block as much damage as you can. But the fact that they have a Widow that can shoot far range, and they can take advantage of the fact that your shield is swinging around so much, then yeah.
Watch out, guys. I'm your only healer.
Yeah. And also you guys were, right here, you were staggered a little bit. Right here. So look at this. You have a Moira and a soldier that are still spawning. You have two people who are down. One of them is a main healer, and the other one is a DPS. You have a monkey who is probably trying to deal with the Widow because of the fact that she's getting free shots off. Probably because your shield is kind of like all over the place and not dealing, or not healing any, or not shielding anything, which is all right. I would much rather have him on a Zarya. If you want, you can call up, be like, hey, I need a Zarya for my team to be able to block damage, and I can just, you know, make some plays at least, right? It allows you to make a lot of plays as Ryan if you have a Zarya, because if you want to shatter, you can ask for a bubble, and then you can shatter with a bubble on you, so then you don't get slept, so you don't get, you know, so you don't get stunned or anything like that. It also allows you to charge in with bubble at the same time, so you don't die every time you charge in. It's just much better for you to have a Zarya than not have a Zarya. So I really don't know why this monkey is not switching to Zarya. But yeah, you have two down. You guys are definitely at a huge disadvantage right now. You guys should be backing up. You shouldn't be pushing up or holding up this close, because they're going to be rushing in, and there's not much you can do to stop them with two down, right? The team can't really keep you alive, right? And right now you're 3v6. You're 3v6 and you're really far up, right? 3v6 and really far up. What you should be doing is grouping up right here around the front of the entrance until you're a full 6, and then you can go in. Basically what Zero was saying. Basically what Zero was saying. You just gotta wait, you gotta regroup. Always gotta regroup whenever your team. Don't be afraid to look backwards. Don't be afraid to look backwards with your shield. And so you can see who's behind you, how many people are with you. Yeah, see, this is what happens if you charge without a shield. If you charge without a bubble, you can't be using your charge. You're gonna end up making a lot of risky plays without anything to back you up. Nice charge. That was a good counter charge. Very, very good counter charge. The thing is, if the enemy team's Zarya actually bubbled him, right, he is not going to be able to take damage, right? He's not going to take damage when he charges in, but you will. Yeah, the maze is still behind you. You don't really need to get up there to kind of deal with it. It looks like your team is able to. It's kind of nice to have a monkey, actually. It allows you to kind of like take control of the high ground, especially when they have a Widow. Kind of make her a little bit nullified, right? Alright, yep. Oh, you didn't... I guess okay. It's alright. You didn't really have to use your shield there because of the fire strike. Took a little extra damage to your shield when you didn't need to. Alright, you gotta watch out for the McCree. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, the McCree rolled through. He actually rolled through behind you. Right here. You did get stunned. Right there. The McCree literally just rolled past you. And if he rolls past you, then you kind of got to... Like, you shouldn't really be this close, to be honest, especially if you don't have a Zarya. It's tough. It's really tough. Right? I do believe so. But if the McCree just rolls past you, and if you gotta make sure that you don't use any crazy abilities, especially your ultimate, when that happens. Because what happens is that he's just going to flash you, right? He just rolled past you, you got slept, and also you got flashed. Right? He rolled past you and he got you. I wouldn't try to shatter like that. That's a very, very aggressive shatter. It's too aggressive. When you want to find a time to shatter, a lot of the times it's best to not just use your position and be super aggressive, especially if you don't have a Zarya. If you have a Zarya, maybe. Right? Maybe if you have a Zarya, because then she can bubble you and then you can shatter like this for free. And then you don't have to take any sleeps, you don't have to take any flashes. But if that doesn't happen, if you don't have a Zarya, what you can do is you can wait for the Reinhardt to either drop his shield and then shatter him there. That's probably the safest way for you to get a shatter on the enemy team without getting yourself killed. What I like to do is, if I'm Ryan and I see the enemy Reinhardt use a flame strike, he will throw his hammer. He will basically start to throw his hammer backwards, and then right when he does that, that's going to be a fire strike, right? And then when he does that, you can basically just shatter when he's fire striking, and then basically get the entire team. You have to be pretty quick on it though, but I would say that is the best way for you to get rid of or to get a good shatter on the enemy Ryan when he puts his shield down, because there's a split second in which the Ryan is that the shield is completely down, right? So, but right here, you don't have to be going out this way, right? I know that your Tracer is going towards this way, right? Your Tracer's going down here. You don't have to follow her, right? Imagine this. If you go down here and you hold them here, what's going to happen? They're going to be pushing the cart towards the right and onto the point. You're not going to be able to hold a position or stop the cart from this angle, right? Not only that, if you put your shield right here, your team is going to be walking from spawn towards this way, and if they poke out the front, this front is going to be free for them to come through or just shoot through, and your team trying to group up with you here at this location is going to get shot at. So don't go down this way. Always try to go towards the right and push through the main. I feel like that's going to be a little bit better for you because most of your team is going to be going towards the front because that's where you can easily stop the payload. Right, this is kind of a weird position for you to be at because it's like, oh, now I got to go back to the payload, now I got to go this way, right? And it's like, okay, well, this is like, I feel like there is no direction. There's no direction or clear direction of where you want to be going or where you are going. It's kind of all over the place. It's not really much of a... It should be more like a group effort where everybody's going the same direction. Minus your flankers. Minus your flankers. Boy, you were a little bit aggressive there. Slightly aggressive. Slightly aggressive. You're purple. I know you want to be really aggressive and get those picks, but it's just like, if you don't have... Yeah, it's just going back to the time where... It's just going back to where you don't have a Zarya, right? If your team doesn't want to run Zarya, that's fine. You can easily just play Orisa. Orisa has her own ability to stop people from stunning her, which is Fortify. Right? Don't be afraid to switch to Orisa if you have a hog who doesn't want to play Zarya. It's okay. Right? There's always this synergy that goes well with specific or pairs of tanks and off tanks. But yeah, I mean, Orisa isn't bad. Orisa isn't bad to play. Not really bad to play. Right? Sometimes it's better to even just play Orisa instead of just playing Rein or instead of trying to force the Rein. Even if Rein may be better for a specific map, if you don't have your composition, your tank comp, to kind of like, you know, be aggressive, then it's like not worth it. Ooh, that's a weird, that's dangerous to charge it, dude. That's so dangerous. So okay, so imagine this. Imagine this. So you get a charge in, right? If you get a charge and you go in that room, what's gonna happen? Sure, you can get a pick. You can get one pick. But then you have 3 or 4 other people who are now shooting at you, and you're in a group in a small room, and your team is outside. Your team is going to not be able to heal you. Your team's not going to heal you. Your team's not going to be able to survive or support you, and you're going to be in there and you're going to die. So don't charge in there. Don't charge in there. It's so dangerous. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. From now on, I would say, don't charge into the enemy team without a Zarya ever. Just don't. Just don't shift. Just don't shift. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. Right? It's too risky. You put yourself at such a dangerous situation, and you can't escape. You can't get out, and your team can't follow up. Right? So, but anyways, that was a pretty rough start. Pretty rough start. But let's just see what Omnicoach has to say about that first round. All right, so Omnicoach has a few things here. We're going to be going down the list to see what they've got to say about the first round. And yeah, so first things first, it's about team synergy, about a Widowmaker, saying that you can't do anything about yourself, use your abilities, and shield your allies as best as you can. You can occasionally throw a fire strike at her, but you got to make sure you communicate this with your team beforehand. Yes, that is true. Because every time you throw a fire strike or every time you let your shield down, right, the Widowmaker is going to have a split second in which you can shoot your team. And if you throw a fire strike, you got to let your team know that you're going to be doing it, right? A lot of the times it's pretty tough because even though you do say that you're going to throw a fire strike, you know, people can still be standing out in the open, but most of the time it's usually not that great to throw your fire strike whenever a Widow. The higher you go up, the worse it's gonna get, right? Because Widows are gonna be able to use this time to, you know, get that headshot whenever they can. But yeah, every time you do, just try to communicate. It'll be better for your team to do so. And yeah. All right, so this is one tip that I did not talk about, and it's basically that Zarya will try to use your fire strikes to gain energy. Every time you throw a fire strike, she's going to use her own bubble and also a bubble on somebody else, perhaps, to try to get the energy from your fire strike. What you can do here is that you can deliberately try to mess with her head, and you can do this by aiming your fire strike above her so that she won't be able to reach it and gain energy. So you try to bait out her bubble by shooting the fire strike. Instead of aiming it directly at her and the entire team, you can just throw it above her. And what happens is that she uses her bubble to try to get energy from it, but it's not going to hit her or anybody on her team. And it basically makes her waste her cooldown. And that's actually really big because Zarya, if they're not high charged, they can't really do that much damage. And therefore, no damage is equal to no grabs. And basically, if you have a Zarya on your team who's getting more average energy, then she's going to be able to throw grabs more. And more grabs equal to more Hammers for you because every time your Zarya on your team grabs, you can swing into it and gain your ult charge really, really quickly. So this is also why Zarya and Rein is really, really good together, because Zarya allows you to get your ultimate very, very quickly, and also she saves you and also allows you to be a little bit more aggressive with your fire strikes, allows you to be more aggressive with your charges, and a lot of things like that. So I feel like if you ever get the chance, you want to play Rein and you just want to play him, ask for a Zarya. If you can't get a Zarya, then try and pick another tank that is better for the off tank. So that's going to be Orisa and Hog. That's a good combo. Rein Zarya is a good combo. And also Monkey and D.Va is a good combo. Now there's Hammond. Hammond can work with a lot of different types of tanks. He can do pretty decently with Zarya, but I usually like using Hammond with D.Va, because D.Va allows you to go in and she can just DM when you slam, right? When you slam in, she can DM all the damage, all the sleeps, all the stuns coming in, and after that, it gives you enough time to do what you need to do, and then you can get out very quickly. So yeah, those are the different types of combos of tanks that I feel like you should kind of like experiment with before, or just experiment with if you can. All right, so one last one that we're going to go over is the mechanical skill about charge. So when using your charge, try to do so from close distances to increase your chances of hitting your targets, giving them less time to react. Doing so often makes it easier for your teammates to support you with damage or even heals as well. Yes, this is true. I do believe that using your charge, especially if you don't have a Zarya, use your charge to only close distances, right? So a lot of the times if you charge, right, and it's an open area, what's going to happen is that you're going to charge through the entire team. What you can do instead is that you can try to position yourself to the target so that the target is next to a wall. All right, so for example, if you are at this location, right, if you end up charging their team, you're going to be going pretty far in, right? You're going to go far and into the payload, and it's a little bit farther. It's not that far, but it's still kind of dangerous, especially without a Zarya. But right here, if you want to, what you can do is if the Rein is pushing up towards the right, you go towards the left here and you charge from this direction and into this wall right here. You don't want to be charging straight forward. You don't always have to just walk straight and just charge straight. You can change your position, go towards the left, and just impact them onto this wall towards the right. Right, so you don't, it's good to kind of like just shift your location very, very quickly. And that's when your jump and charge is going to be useful. Remember when I said that you charged after you jumped and you ended up hitting the stairs, right? And you got frozen and you died? Well, this will be a good situation to do it because it allows you to charge and also position yourself at the same time. So then you can come from a different angle. So that's one of the best ways that you can do it. And yeah, I feel like, but honestly, that's probably what you can do the best here. Don't charge all the way in, especially without a Zarya, right? The only time that you would charge is if you could do something like that. Right, charge very closely, make sure you hit the wall next to them or the payload, and without traveling too far. So, but anyways, let's go on to the next round. It's going to be on attack. I feel like Monkey is a lot better here because of the high ground. It allows you to engage a lot farther. But it looks like you guys are going to be playing a little bit of Rein, so we'll see how this goes. All right, so it looks like you have a Zarya now, which is really, really good. This is going to be a huge game changer. There's a lot more things that you can do. You can be a lot more aggressive. You can throw your fire strikes. But it all really depends on how you interact with your Zarya and how you talk to her. It's very good. You have to communicate with her.
Oh, on the high ground, yeah.
Okay. Not bad. The Widow's being annoying in the back. It's fine. You didn't really have to turn your shield around, but that was okay because of the fact that they were already off high ground. Yeesh, okay. Good charge, but you didn't really have to back up. When you have bubble, don't worry about backing up. Right? So right here. You fire striked. Boom, you got bubble, right? If once you have bubble, don't be afraid to just let your shield down and just go in and just start swinging, right? Because the thing is, your Zarya bubbles you so that you can gain energy for her and also so she can protect you. If you're letting your shield up, it's not really doing anything for you, especially if there's no hit scan pushing or shooting through. There's no hit scan on the high ground. There's nobody shooting through this area. It's just you, the Rein, and the Zarya. Don't be afraid to just walk up and just feed energy to your Zarya. Because if you're blocking like this, it's not really doing much for either of you, right? It's not doing much for either you or the Zarya on your team. You're not letting her get the charge that she wants.
Yes.
Genji's on her, Genji's on her.
Nice, nice. Okay, looks like your Genji was able to get rid of the Widow. So you don't really have to worry too much about the any hit scans going for your backline. You can be a little bit aggressive here. It's completely okay. That's nice. That's fire strike.
Anna's on the right side. Anna low.
Swing, swing. Back up. Careful. Don't forget about the dragon. That's nice. Interesting charge. Didn't need that shatter. Did not need that shatter. So I'm not hearing any communication between you and the Zarya. First of all, your Zarya should be telling you when she has bubble, or you should be asking her if she has bubble before you charge. A lot of the times, right? It's good to kind of have that in the back of your mind, like whether or not you have, you know, whether you have bubble up. Of course, you can keep in mind, you know, the timer on when she has bubble. Her friendly bubble lasts or has an 8-second cooldown, and her personal bubble has a 10-second cooldown. So you gotta make sure, you know, just kind of count 8 seconds in your head. If she doesn't have bubble, just kind of think about whether or not you want to charge it or not. But you did not need the shatter. You guys were already up. All right, look at this. So they were down a Widow, then they were down a Zen, then they're down an Ana, and then you ended up killing the Rein. And it's just too much. You did not need that shatter at all. It's completely overkill. If you guys are only down 1, or if you guys are up 1, even then it's kind of risky. Unless, of course, you know, you're trying to finish off the entire team and they don't have a shield, then maybe you can shatter, get a 5-man shatter. But you guys are already up like 3 or 4 people. You do not need shatter. It's completely wasted. So right there, I think you kind of deserve that right here, right? So so I understand that you guys are up right now, but why? There's no reason for you to be doing this, like swinging your hammer, like you're swing. I don't know what you're doing. For all you know, they could be poking the front, or this stuff could be happening. Like Ana can be throwing a nade from long range. Stuff like that could be happening. I would at least just try to gauge the situation and see where everybody is positioned at, or try to see what's going on instead of just like throwing around your hammer, because you're literally doing nothing like this. You're not doing anything. Like you just swing. I would rather just do this. I would rather do this. Yes, this is much better. Keep your shield up. Just the entire time, even if you're up, right? Anything could happen at a split second. There's no reason for you to be letting down your shield and not doing anything. So Widow did end up getting a pick, so it's kind of rough for you guys. You guys are down way too many. I would just back up right now. I would just honestly back up right now. You guys are not going to be able to win this fight. Yeah, don't go in. You guys can't win. So.
Get out if you can.
Yeah.
We need to do something against that Widow.
You should have backed up when that Widow got the first pick. Widow got 1 pick, and after that, then your Genji got picked off. So you guys were pretty much down 2 at the very beginning of the fight. You gotta know when the fight is already lost. Once the fight is lost, just back up, or else you're gonna be feeding ultimate charge to the enemy team.
Really need to dump that Widow.
Okay, your Genji is down already. Your Genji is already down. You don't. So right here, just think about it. Your Genji died and you spawned. You're going to be a 5v6, right? You do not want to be going into a fight at a deficit. If there's a chance for you to just wait maybe like 10 seconds for your Genji to spawn, feel free to do so. It's only 10 seconds, right? Waiting 10 seconds is much better because you end up getting a 6v6 fight. If you go into 5v6, the chances are against you. And right now, you don't have to go in. You don't have to. You can literally just wait until your Genji spawns. Once your Genji spawns, then you get a 6v6, and at least you're even, right? You never want to go in when you're at a disadvantage, especially if you're that close to your spawn, right? Especially if you're that close to your spawn, because your Genji can just come in really quickly, and you're good, right? And right now you're staggered, so it's a 5v6 again, because your Genji literally just got back. Okay, so now the Widow's dead, so it's a 5v5, all right? So it looks like he bladed. All right, that's good. But honestly, if you waited for your Genji, you probably wouldn't have died, right? Because your Genji used his blade and got rid of like the entire team, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, if you were here when your Genji was here, he probably would have been able to blade and engage with the blade while you were pushing up, and then the entire team wouldn't have focused you down, right? They would be too busy focusing down the Genji, or splitting at least the DPS around your team, and then you probably wouldn't have died. Of course, you guys are winning and you guys are pushing this, but first, right, there is energy, or there is a ultimate charge being fed every time you die, right? And also, it's just like, it's better to just always be alive instead of just dying at that moment, if you don't have to. So also right here, you guys are up 1. Yeah, this is sneaky. You don't have to do this, right? It's kind of risky. It's kind of risky. Just imagine if they were able to block it though, right? Like you shattered without seeing anybody. You literally saw nobody. You saw a shot from the Widow, but that's it. You did not know the Moira was here. You didn't know anybody else was here, so this was a blind shatter. You ended up getting one, luckily. And you're charging backwards. And you're kind of just all over the place. I would say have a plan when you use your ultimate. Don't just like throw it around like that. I feel like either you're getting overconfident or it's just like you probably overconfidence.
That's fine.
Probably overconfidence. And you're doing that jump again. So you jump right here. Right? Jump. And then charge. If you didn't jump, you would have actually got the pin. You would have got the pin on the Rein. And he would have actually been dead here. Right? Right here, just charge, boom. You would charge him into the wall on the opposite side. That's a very good position because it's putting him out of line of sight of his team while you are still in line of sight of your team. So this would have been a perfect charge right here. But you jumped and then you hit the wall. So don't stop or stop doing that. Stop jumping and charging. It's not good for you. It's not good for you. Okay, the cheeky teabag, yeah, definitely overconfidence. Overconfidence. And you lost. So, according to the title, you lost. So I will say overconfidence is a flimsy shield. Make sure you don't get overconfident. But you guys are pushing far. You got your Ashe is popping off, and you're charging in like crazy, which is bad. Nice, nice. You got grab, you got blade. What else do you guys have here?
I need 3 people on cart, guys.
Okay, you're a little far. You no need to shatter. Your shatters are yeah. There's no need to do that. There's really no point for you to use that shatter on one single target. You're 6 health, dude. You're literally 6 health here. You can either go towards the right and try to get your health pack, or at least just stay out of line of sight from everybody. You can just sneak towards the right. There's a health pack there in the back. You don't have to stay here. You do not have to stay here. And you're charging in. Dead. Alright. So you put yourself in a really bad situation. You definitely could have backed up there. At least to the side. And maybe waited for heals just for a little bit. You didn't have to charge through. You didn't have to charge through. But yes, you wasted your shatter on a single target. It wasn't really worth it, to be honest. And also you were really aggressive. Your position, you shouldn't have been in their backline. You should not have been in their backline. All you have to do is just stay on the payload and just try to engage people who are coming onto the payload. You do not want to be the person. You don't need to prevent them to get onto the payload. Not as Rein. There are other heroes for you to do that, right? There's Tracer, there's Genji. Basically, they can dive the backline and prevent them from getting out to the point. But you as Rein, you are the point presence. Without you on the point, they can come onto it and they can just retake it, right? But if you have a Rein just running around and swinging the point, they're not going to be able to do anything against you. But the fact that you were in their backline, you weren't able to do that. And so they were able to just get on the point and just retake it.
That's at my ult. Watch how far she's making those.
Charging far. You're charging far. Very far.
Okay, nice.
So another thing you could do here, right? I would just charge into this wall right here. I would just charge into this wall. I'm not entirely sure if that's what you're trying to do, but you can just charge at the wall so that in case you miss, you don't go flying like this. Right? This is still pretty damn far. You can get discorded, you can get swung and then fire striked, and then there's a lot of different things that can happen to you once you charge in. You can get counter charge as well. You're blading. You guys are down too. Bad. No, you shouldn't be blading here. You should not be blading. Your team should not be blading, especially when you're down like 2 or 3 people.
Come on.
Unless it's like a nano, then maybe. Like a nano blade, because a nano blade has a higher chance of getting a lot more people, right? Or has the ability of getting more people. But the fact that you guys don't even add an Ana, then it's not really worth it. Okay, so you got a Pharah, No Mercy, you got an Ashe, Lucio, Moira, Zarya. Alright, so one thing you can do right here is you can ask for a bubble from your Zarya before you charge. Or before you shatter. Just be like, hey Zarya, can you bubble me? Bubble me, and then when she bubbles you, then you shatter. It makes it so that your shatter doesn't get oof. Oh, not a bad shatter. A risky one though. I don't know why. I don't know. See, like the shield was down here, but then he jumped onto the payload, so that was his fault. But there was no reason for you to shatter. There was no reason for you to, right? Unless you were predicting the Rein jumping onto the payload, then sure. Maybe that's what happened. Because if you're on the payload, then the Rein can't block, right? Or if the Rein is on the payload, he can't block the shatter with the shield, which is okay. But I feel like that was kind of a shatter that was kind of iffy. It turned out good for you. But I think it was just lucky. Don't charge in. Don't charge in. Yep. Interesting. Yeah, you still you did take the grab though. You took the grab, which was good. Took the grab. But then your Zarya shouldn't have grabbed at the same time, to be honest. But again, you were a little bit too far in. A little bit too far in. Like you shouldn't be in their spawn. You shouldn't be the one to try to like stop them from getting out to the payload. Nice, nice. Okay, you guys killed the McCree, but you guys are still down too. Lucio is spawning right now, and you got another player that's coming in as well.
Oh, the lizard again already? She just used it.
All right, let's go.
Okay, you got a barrage, no graph. Where's your team? Your team is not here yet. Okay, now your team's here. Nice block. Just wait. You're going too far in. You're going too far in. You're LOSing your team. Right here. Right? Right here. Once you're at this location, your team can't see you because of the wall behind you. Right? This wall ends up blocking you from your team. They can't support you. So what you want to do is you got to make sure where your team is. Your Roadhog's here. Your Morris here. I think you have one guy on the high ground, but your rest of your team is behind you. Right? Good block though, but right here you're kind of being really aggressive, and you're just shattering in the middle. Yeah.
Oh, it's behind us.
Yeah. That was really unfortunate, but I feel like you wasted so many of your shatters. You wasted a lot. Like, I feel every time you end up getting good shatters, it's because of luck. It's because of luck, right? I think you need to use a little bit more of the windows where you can shatter, instead of just randomly throwing one down. Because every time you've got a good shatter, it was because of the fact that the enemy Rein didn't have a shield up. And it was pretty much luck. One thing you can do, one strategy that you can actually redo, is basically you can shatter when the Reinhardt is, again, like when he's fire striking or when he's charging. When the Rein starts to charge, you can shatter, or if he gets slapped, or if he gets flashed, or if he gets stunned by a Brig. That's why Brig is really good with Rein at the same time. So just try to combo with your team, or just try to make sure that you actually have a good reason to shatter. Don't just throw it down whenever you want, because I think you only got maybe like 2 out of 8 good shatters. 3 or 8, like sure, that's like 3 out of 8, but you always want to make it as good as possible. If you can increase your chances of getting a good shatter, then always just think about what you want to be doing instead of just randomly throwing it down. So, but anyways, I feel like a lot of it just came down to positioning. A lot of too many charges. Even if with the Zarya, like your charging was like really, really far in, your shatters were kind of all over the place. They were kind of random. You weren't really communicating with your Zarya. Yeah, do more of everything like that. Communicate. Talk to your Zarya. Be like, okay, I'm gonna go in. Can I be aggressive? Can I do this? Blah, blah, blah. Right? That's where communication is really important between the two main and off tanks. That's where you feel a little bit more stronger when they have somebody supporting you at the same time, right? Because right here, I felt like there was just no community. There was nothing. It was like, it was freaking all over the place. I was just like, what's going on, man? It's just like doing everything's completely all over. It's like so random. So it was interesting to watch, I guess. But yeah, anyways, let's see what Omnicoach has to say about this. All right, so Omnicoach did touch upon what I was talking about when it comes to fire striking the enemy Reinhardt. They said that fire striking an opposing Reinhardt can be extremely dangerous, especially within close range. If you suspect he has his Earth Shatter up, only do so from safe ranges. Otherwise, you give him a free invitation to Earth Shatter you and anyone behind you for free. Yeah, so that's basically, you didn't really do that many fire strikes while he was up and really close to you. But the enemy Reinhardt did do a lot of fire strikes. So I feel like if you wait for the enemy Reinhardt to throw his hammer backwards to throw a fire strike, that's the opportune time for you to throw a shatter. Also, one more thing that they talked about was that you guys were at a 4-player disadvantage and you have to fall back and regroup. Yes, yes. I think this is the very beginning of the first or the second round. Yeah, when you guys were down at Genji, there was really no point for you guys to keep pushing forward. Just wait until you guys are up, right? Or you guys are full 6v6 and then you push in afterwards. Wait until you guys are full. There's no point for you guys to keep pushing and just keep hammering it whenever you guys don't need to. All right, so another one saying here that you have to make sure to use your Fire Strike. There's rarely any good reason to hold on to it. It's your primary source for building ultimate charge outside of fights. Generally, it's okay to use it as soon as it comes off a cooldown. Yes, that is true. But a lot of the times you want to make sure that you don't leave yourself open. One way you can do this is that you use your Fire Strike around a corner. So that if your team is not open to a shatter on the enemy Reinhardt, what you can do is use a corner and then use a Fire Strike so that the enemy Rein can't shatter your entire team. So basically you want to be a little bit aggressive on your positioning so that you peek around the corner and then Fire Strike. Because if you do that and the Rein decides to shatter, it's going to only be you that gets shattered, right? So try to make it so that you push up just a little bit farther when using your Fire Strike, peek around the corner, Fire Strike, and then come back. Right? Peek around the Fire Strike and then come back. Because what happens if you're out in the open, right? If you're out in the open and your entire team is behind you and then you Fire Strike, then the Reinhardt is going to shatter your entire team. So you kind of have to make sure the position of the enemy Reinhardt, you have to know the enemy position, and also you have to know the position of your entire team behind you, and whether or not a shatter is going to be deadly to you and your team. A lot of these we're talking about using your charges from close distances. As you can see, there is a lot that they talk about, but a lot of it is your charges. Right, I've seen this come up like maybe at least 8 times. When using your charge, try to do so from close distances to increase your chances of hitting your opponents, giving them less time to react. Doing so often makes it harder for your teammates to support you with damage or even heals as well. Yeah, this came up, this mechanical skill one came up like 8 or 10 times in this VOD page. So that's something that I feel like you need to stop doing. Charge only when you're close, and also only when your Zarya has bubble. All right, so that's gonna be about it for this one. I really appreciate the submission, Cheese Addict. There was a lot to say about this game. It was very, 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 very messy. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. It was entertaining to watch, and I didn't notice at the end there that your Zarya switched off to Roadhog. That's kind of weird. I don't know why you did that. You guys were doing pretty well with the Rein Zarya. But yeah, also one thing: don't get overconfident. Don't get overconfident. Once you start, you know, BMing the enemy team and you start getting overconfident, you start making misplays, and then you start becoming frustrated and you start wondering why things aren't going your way. So always just keep your head clear. Don't get too cocky. Just keep playing your best as much as you can. Don't be making all these crazy plays, because it can definitely screw you over at the end. You push the first and second point very, 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 very strong. But once you guys, you know, after you did that flank shatter from the high ground, it all went to pieces. You wasted every single shatter. There's only one more good one after that, I think, and it just wasn't pretty, right? Everybody started making misplays. Everybody started just being a little bit more messy. It just wasn't the same type of game after that. So yeah, just keep your head clear, concentrate a little bit more, and that's probably one of the most important things, because it doesn't matter how well you play, right? Once you start getting cocky, everything you learn just goes out the window. You start just doing random things, and it doesn't matter how good you are, you know? So yeah, one thing, don't get over cocky. Number 2, charge only close range and ask for a Zarya bubble whenever you charge. Communicate with your Zarya whenever you can. Most important thing. And also number 3, if your team isn't running a Zarya, try not to play Rein. Try to run AORUS the Hog, or try to run Monkey Diva or Hamster Diva. Those are the best combinations for you to run and actually survive. I feel like you would have done a lot better on the first round. You probably would have been able to defend a little bit better, because you were getting stunned a lot as Rein, and Orisa is able to negate that without a Zarya. So yeah, try to keep those things in mind. You know, try to focus up a little bit more, and I think you do better. But yeah, if you guys want to send your own gameplay, you guys can submit it to dibsgaming@hotmail.com. And also, don't forget about Omnicoach. Omnicoach gives you personal VOD analysis for your Overwatch gameplays. It is like an on-demand coaching, so go to the website, check out the different coaching packages, and see how you can improve. Not only that, if you sign up now, you are able to get a chance to spin for some amazing discounts. All you need to do is look for the secret wheel on their website. I'll post the link in the description below for ease of access. I feel like Omnicoach is really good. It basically touches upon all the stuff that I talk about. And not only that, you don't always have to like rewatch an entire VOD. If you're really good at reading and you're fast at reading, you can literally just zip through the entire thing and just figure out exactly what needs to happen. You can go back to wherever, you know, any point in the video, and they'll tell you where all of your tips are applying, right? So it's good. Check it out. I really think it's a good one. If you guys aren't, because I am not able to do as many VODs anymore as well, and I feel like it's a really good resource, especially if you have like one that's waiting, and I haven't gotten to it yet, so I'm sorry about that, but I'm trying to get to as many of them as possible. I do have a full-time job now. It's growing up, right? But it sucks because I can't stream as much. I can't make as much videos, and I apologize for that. But I try my best, and I try to get as many videos as I can. So thank you guys for being patient. I really appreciate it. But again, if you guys want to send your own gameplay, you guys can submit it to dibsgaming@hotmail.com. If you guys can send the direct MP4 video, that'd be great. So it allows me to upload it to Omnicoach so I can see what they say throughout the video. Yeah, anyways, if you guys haven't checked out my Twitch, you guys can see me stream live at twitch.tv/DIBZ. Do a lot of, I do online coaching as well. You guys can basically just hop in, see what's going on, say hello. I really appreciate it. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, appreciate it. Thanks you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.